Arman Tsarukyan did this interview with Red Corner MMA at his training camp next to Mount Elbrus. So he's gone back to his motherland for this fight, and he said a bunch of very interesting things. He said that Charles Oliveira is only good at taking his opponents back and choking them out. He says his chin is not very good and his wrestling is not good. Basically, he doesn't actually see Oliveira as that dangerous, it seems. And his training partner, Alexander Shabli, also wasn't very complimentary of Oliveira. He said Oliveira doesn't actually present that many challenges. He's not that great in any position. And I found this to be quite interesting because, first of all, I can understand where they're coming from, and I will get onto that in a second. But I do wonder, is this more of what we have seen in Charles Oliveira's career, where he is just going to be underestimated repeatedly, and all of a sudden he will pull an amazing finish out of the hat, and all of a sudden everybody's going to be thinking, wow, we really messed up writing Charles Oliveira off here, because Dan Hooker was calling Charles Oliveira a quitter and many other things, saying that he wasn't up for a fight and all kinds of things. I mean, he invented the name Charlie Olives, which looks incredibly stupid now, given where Dan Hooker went after he came up with that nickname, and given where Charles Oliveira has gone. Michael Chandler called him a quitter. Dustin Poirier, he didn't call Charles Oliveira a quitter, but after the fight he said that the problem, once he got taken to the ground, was that he respected Charles Oliveira too much, which really doesn't make sense. Again, I love Dustin Poirier, but that was a head-scratcher to me. Justin Gaethje, I mean, he was the most vocal opponent that Oliveira has had, aside from Islam Makhachev and his team, where he also called Charles Oliveira a quitter, and look what happened. Justin Gaethje got shown up in that fight terribly. And yeah, so back to the question, is Charles Oliveira being underestimated again, and is he going to shock the world? Well, time will tell. Let's just get into this. Look, I love Charles Oliveira, but I'm being realistic here. The guy, I didn't even realize this, has very poor takedown defense. I mean, this guy's takedown defense is, wait for it, 55%. I mean, that is not good for a fighter of his caliber. Now, he also wins an amazing amount of times, given that he has that poor takedown defense. His chin is, I'm going to go 50-50. It's not great because this guy does get knocked down a lot. I mean, Dustin Poirier rocked him and knocked him down. Charles Oliveira knocked him down. Islam Makhachev knocked him down. Also, Michael Chandler rocked him. However, Charles Oliveira's recovery skills are second to none. This guy is a warrior. He is a beast. You literally need to put him out. I mean, we can say all we want about the guys who train in that shooter box style, how bad it is for your health. Regardless, Charles Oliveira is doing it, and again, he has got the heart of a lion. So let's not beat around the bush there. So his chin, again, may not be amazing, but his recovery skills are second to none, and his will to win, second to none. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that. Now, as far as what Alexander Shabli said, that Arman has heavy hands and he can knock Oliveira out, I completely agree with that. I am almost tempted to pick Arman Tsarukyan to win by stoppage in this fight, because I think personally a lot of people are getting a little bit carried away with the Joaquim Silva fight. Yes, Arman Tsarukyan got clipped horribly in that fight, and it was not a good look. However, any fighter can be caught, and Arman Tsarukyan is not fighting cherry-picked opposition. And when you are in a stacked division like lightweight, which has always been stacked, then anybody can get clipped at any time. So again, it was one moment, or two technically, but you get where I'm going with this. It's not exactly proof that Charles Oliveira is going to land the same punch on Arman Tsarukyan. And even though Oliveira's hands are dangerous, again, I'll get on to my concerns about Tsarukyan's comments in a second. Even though his hands are dangerous, Charles Oliveira is there to be hit. And again, this guy has a history of getting rocked. He recovers very well, but his chin at some point is going to give out. And I'm not convinced that his chin can take Arman Tsarukyan's power, because Tsarukyan is not just a guy with heavy hands, but he's also got great coordination with his hands and his legs, which is why I'm picking this guy to beat a lot of guys in the top 5 for a few years. I'm not going to pick him to beat Islam Makhachev, but who would? Who would be favoured against Islam Makhachev at lightweight? Arman Tsarukyan's striking is very, very solid, As far as what Arman Tsarukyan said about Oliveira only being good at taking his opponent's backs, I mean, yeah, that's how Oliveira wins most of his fights. But again, this guy has got a wicked guillotine. Arman Tsarukyan is a very good wrestler, so I'm not expecting him to get choked out like that. I mean, they seem to be acknowledging what Oliveira can do with his submissions and acknowledging his abilities and just natural skills when it comes to the ground. But again, I'm a little bit torn on this because Charles Oliveira is no jokes. He is a top 5 all-time great lightweight. He has, and it pains me to say this because I'm such a huge Tony Ferguson fan, and I have got a video which I'm going to wait until he retires, but I've got a video saying that Tony Ferguson may have been the worst treated fighter in UFC history, but Charles Oliveira has surpassed him. And Arman Tsarukyan does seem to acknowledge that. But again, to say that he's only good in one area, and for his training partner to say he doesn't really present many challenges anywhere, I mean, if they're confident about that, then good on them, but I'm not so sure. I would not write off Charles Oliveira at all. If you do that, you're just asking for trouble. And as far as Arman Tsarukyan not getting a lot of praise from fans these days, I mean, you'll remember this clip where he was hounded by a bunch of Charles Oliveira fans. Is that just because of the Bobby Green incident? Is it because of where he's from? Is it because people suspect he's on steroids? I don't know what it is. Maybe he is just in that territory of fighters who are going to get booed because people don't like that he's going to fight their heroes. If that's the way it is, that's the way it is. Can't do much about it. Let me know what you guys think about Arman Tsarukyan's comments down below. Is he being a bit overconfident? Is he underestimating Charles Oliveira? And are we set for history to repeat itself? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more as always.